Good evening, good afternoon, whoever you are in this weird, wide, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of New World of Darkness, Salem by Night. Have any of you ever had a really hard day on the job? A day where, no matter how much coffee you ingest, it just always seems to drag on like a fly caught in molasses? Well, the good detective here has had one of those god-awful days. Literally, no matter what he did, no matter how he tried to alleviate the sense of crushing boredom, nothing worked. And always at the back of his mind, he heard the little children as they skipped and danced, ring-a-ring-a-rosy and all that jazz like they did back when he was young, for their lives to be suddenly cut brutally short in but an instant. So it is that Detective Black walks the mean streets of Salem, quiet, every footfall echoing, until he stands once again in front of the street, until he stands once again on the street with the elementary school, the street where it all happened, that he somehow felt drawn to it. He knew that he needed to stand here. However, there's something wrong. The police tape that acted as a barrier leading into the leading into the playground, it appears to have been cut. And we go to the good detective.
Black, seeing that the tape has been disturbed, draws his pistol and starts to make his way inside himself, holding himself in check, much the way that those many years of police training and basic law enforcement training have taught him. His his eyes dart back and forth around the place, looking for even the slightest indication of movement. And I'm actually going to physically roll this. Plus, that'll be 5. I'm actually going to roll the wits. Actually going to roll the wits investigation here. So that's a 2.
Okie dokie. You see a rather odd sight. You see a mountain of. Oh, sorry. Odell, are you physically large, or are you just kind of old and haggard looking, or are you big?
He's like very stout and he's pretty tall. I guess he's like way above, or not way above average height, but probably like 6'3", and like
You see,
very stocky.
okay. You see a large, stocky man. He's almost smelling the air in a weird way, like taking in deep breaths of it. And behind him there is another man dressed in a black trench coat, leaning against the side of the jungle gym. And then you've got sitting on top of the jungle gym another individual who's calmly sipping tea from a small china cup. And there is a full tea service beside him, including a teapot, numerous cups, and a small plate that contains cake.
Immediately putting my back to the wall and calling for backup.
Would you like to roll me some stealth just to make sure we don't see you?
I don't even care if you see me, to be honest. I just would rather not have to, if I'm going to have to pull iron, I directly prefer not to have to shoot 3 different people.
Okie dokie.
Alright, what's that? I'll just roll the straight dex. No, like I said, I do have my badges on my hips. So any that likely would shine off. 2.
Okay, cool. What is the role in New World to see through stealth?
Wit
Wits composure, I
alertness.
believe, or something like that.
It's either wits composure or wits alertness. I don't remember.
I think it is wits composure.
Are you sure that's a 2 attribute role?
Yeah, that's what you do in New World. You can combine attributes like that.
Okay, in that case, let us all roll wits and composure and see if we see a will.
Nope, only got 1.
Does this game favor the defender as well, or is it the...
The defender.
Mm-hmm.
And diff 8, I got no successes.
Ones don't take away.
Oh yeah, so I actually got one
Yep.
success.
I have 3 successes.
So much too.
Yep, okay. You see the man sitting at the top of the jungle gym kind of cock his head to the side, and he says off into the distance in a very ambiguous way, "Hello there. Can I interest you in a cup of tea?"
I say nothing.
He looks down to his compatriot and says, "There's a man hiding over there." He points absent-mindedly in that direction.
The man visibly sighs.
By the way, I'm going to make the ruling because we're here. Obviously, it's not an official ruling, but I assume Jess will be okay with it. Conrad Odell, whatever your... Is it glamour that you
Yeah.
regain from... Whatever your glamour score is, standing here, it's probably filled it up to maximum. Because, you know, this place is, like, terrifying to people.
So this big homeless-looking guy with a beard starts like stomping away from the door of the school where he was standing near, and like shaking his head and rubbing his eyes, and he grabs the piece of cake off the tea service set thing and just like pops the whole thing in his mouth, starts chewing it up, and like licks his fingers, and then he's like, "Oh, doing hiding around here? Is he gonna try to jump us?"
I don't know. Are you going to try and jump us, man hiding over there?
Same thing, remaining quiet.
Oh. Balthazar will do
Just
a very
watching and
odd
listening.
thing. Because he's sitting on top of the jungle gym, Balthazar will physically slide down the slide and stand up. Still holding his teacup. Before kind of calmly walking towards the man. Sipping his tea every couple of feet.
Okay. Let him approach.
He is standing in front of you now, or as near as he's going to walk until you do something or talk to him.
Detective Blacke, Salem PD.
Good afternoon, detective.
You realize you're behind a police line.
But by the way, if anyone is paying any sort of attention to Alistair, he presses his fingers to his temple and mutters under his breath. If anyone's close enough, it is an Atlantean high speech.
Are you sending a message, or what are you doing?
No, he's casting a tune-in spell
To tune into what?
to the detective's radio.
Okay.
Only the one success, but that should
What
be
radio?
enough. That's enough.
What radio?
Well, he heard the word detective, so it's a reasonable assumption.
radio?
That the detective...
You
Again,
radioed
what
for
radio?
backup.
I called on a cell phone. Detectives
Ah.
don't usually carry radios.
That's also fair. Can I
Well,
also
let's
tell-
be listening on like cell phones and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
if
same
if
difference.
this
It'll work.
if this detective chap does anything, like calls for anyone, I will be able to hear him do it.
Can I offer you some tea, detective? I'm afraid I'm out of cake.
Your tea and cake doesn't appeal to me right now. What does appeal to me is the fact that I say again, you are on police property.
I thought this was public property.
It was until about 3 months ago when some idiot decided to come in here and shoot the damn place up. Which I find hilariously suspicious, the fact that you're here immediately after that's occurred.
One would think that 3 months is not necessarily immediately, unless my sense of time is more distorted than I thought it was.
Odell has like walked away and is looking at some kind of large cardboard collage that's pasted on the chain link fence.
I do apologize,
I'm
detective.
going to ask you this once.
Hmm?
I'm going to ask you this once. I'm only going to ask you this once. What is your business here?
Having tea.
Clearly, but what is your business here? And you see he actually has begun reaching for a pair of cuffs.
Detective, I'm sure that you are a very reasonable man, but that is a very unreasonable thing to do.
Is it?
Yes.
Put yourself in my shoes. Is it?
You see the figure, he brings his hands around behind his back.
And you hear Odell start crying super, super, super loud. Like outrageously loud for any human.
Like crying, did you
Yeah,
say?
like bawling
Okay.
his eyes out, crying. He's on his knees in front of this collage of paper. There's little like glass things on the ground too.
Again, you haven't answered my question.
We're having tea, Detective. He says
Well, I
as
suggest you have tea elsewhere.
his hands have physically stopped moving behind his back. Now then, I can gather my compatriots and we can leave here.
I know. Don't. Dude, should be moving on.
Alistair, would you mind collecting Mr. Odell, please?
Very well. And he'll give a glance at the detective, and there's like a second of a smirk before he walks over and goes over to Odell. Time to leave.
He's like not even listening to you. He's on his knees like in front of this thing crying, and you can see it's like a bunch of pictures of the victims of like the shooting.
With a sigh and a distinctly deep breath, he'll pull Conrad to his feet as best as he can.
As he starts pulling, he just like puts his arm forward and touches one of the pictures and like starts crying even harder.
Come on, Odell.
Balthazar will turn on his heel. Will, if you'd like to make me a wits investigation roll. You're a detective, I assume that this is a good roll for you.
Yeah, it's relatively good. I hadn't played in a while, so I need some XP to bump it. But yeah, it's a relatively decent roll. Unless I roll like that and get, jack shit. Nothing. It's well hidden, or I really wasn't paying attention.
You know that we can't see your rolls, right?
Oh, I didn't get anything.
Well, I tell you what, just so we can have it.
Two threes, 2 5s, and a 1.
I tell you what, just so we can be fair and above board, I'm gonna roll your dice so it can be on the thing. What's your scores? What's your dice total?
5.
Okie dokie. Wow, my dice rolling is much better for you. You get 3 successes. As you turn around, you see a distinctive glint from Balthazar's back that's a concealed holster and a large knife.
I have no reason to pull. I have no reasonable suspicion to rush to pull you on that.
He had his hand. You can assume he had his hand clasped to it just a moment ago.
Yeah, I have no reasonable suspicion. I've asked you to leave. You're leaving.
Okie dokie. Balthazar will walk over to Odell and he'll kneel down beside him and he'll kind of cock his head to the side and say, "What's wrong?"
He'll keep crying and poking this picture of like a little girl.
I will look. Does the picture bear any resemblance to Odell?
I mean, Odell is like a big haggard-looking grizzled homeless man. This is a cute little girl, but we each got like the same hair color.
He'll whisper in your ear, "You told me you had a family."
He like nods and wiping his eyes, the nose on his sleeve.
Is this your daughter?
He just like starts nodding and he's not even making any noise anymore. He's just crying real hard.
I'm sorry, detective, but it would seem as though my friend here is one of the victor. My friend here has a daughter who was one of the victims of this tragedy.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Hmm.
Although you can, it's obvious without even a roll that you don't even hear any real sympathy in Blacke's voice.
Uh, uh, hmm. Hmm. Balthazar will kind of he'll look once again somewhat confused before shrugging and simply saying to Adele, would you like us to take the picture with us?
No, no, no. Leave it where it is in case her mom comes by. He gets up.
Okay.
Sometimes Black's eyes never leave this trio.
But Evan, Alistair will pointedly look at the detective and will just muttering it to Balthazar, the word fuego, which he's heard him use in spells before. He's not actually casting a spell, but he's saying it pointedly as like a suggestion.
Balthazar will shake his head. And he'll say something akin to, no, 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 not the time, my friend, not the time.
As they're like walking away, this big hairy haggard dude with like bright red shiny eyes and like snots running down his face will look over at the detective and in between like hyperventilating sobs or whatever, he'll be like, Did you get the bastards who done it?"
We're still looking, sir. We have a few leads that we're following up on.
Oh, of course you do. He just starts walking away, kicks like a rock.
As Balthazar walks past you, he stumbles and he bumps into you, Odell. Or not Odell, into you, Will.
Yeah,
Would you like...
he's getting cuffed.
Okay. Basically, what everyone sees is Balthazar accidentally bumps into him, and then the policeman basically reaches around and attempts to grab him.
Oh.
Literally, he looks like he stumbled on a piece of rock and accidentally bumped into you. Okay, would you like to make me your grapple attempt to grapple me?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at to be sure.
For those of you watching this, we have no fucking idea how this game works.
No, none whatsoever. Same thing, 5.
Okay. What's your speed,
six,
actually?
six.
Because I might be faster than you are.
10.
Okay, you're faster than I am. And I don't have time to get a spell off, so you have 5.
Will.
6. Correction, 6.
Okay, one moment. Alright, so you have 2 successes. Successes are 8s. What's my roll to resist this, or to...
I think it's the same thing. I think it's Dex Brawl.
I think it's Dex Athletics.
Yeah, I think it's Dex
Athletics and Dex Brawl.
Yeah, okay. I'll attempt to dodge with Dex Athletics, and I fail. You basically grab Balthazar by the back of the neck and force him onto the ground.
Hey, wait a minute! He didn't do it.
I didn't have a problem with you.
Alistair will start marching forward. I suggest you let him go, detective.
Actually, I'll pull the gentleman up to his feet and basically just not actually even searching the gentleman. I'm more searching, patting myself down. I had no problem with you three. All I did was ask for you to leave. Now, this gentleman somehow managed, and I'm not accusing him, but it is very suspicious. This gentleman has somehow managed to bump into me. In my line of work, that's never a good thing. Call it a safety precaution. Finding
Detect-
nothing missing on his person, the detective actually uncuffs the gentleman.
Oh, no, there is something missing. Your cell phone is missing.
Oh, scratch that then. If that's the case, I am going to search the other gentleman, mainly
Okay.
looking to see what he does have on him. I know about the weapon because I saw it. Now, before
I
I
know.
search you, sir, is there anything other than what I've already seen on you that I need to be aware of? Anything that's going to injure me?
He'll cock his head to the side and he'll look more amused than anything else. And he'll say, "Not to my knowledge, officer."
To your knowledge, what about things that you don't know about?
Well, now, that's saying something, isn't it? I don't know.
Okay. You two gentlemen, like I said, I have no problem with you right now, but I need you to stay back.
Shouldn't you be
Alistair will
working
take
on
a
solving
pointed
this
step.
crime? Instead of
Alistair will take
harassing this guy for
3
bumping
pointed
into you?
steps forward, by the way.
Yeah.
As soon as Black says stay back, he takes 3 pointed steps forward.
Black just shakes his head. You know what? Fuck it. And I'll just pat the gentleman down.
You do not find your phone anywhere on my person.
Suspicious, but I have no way to prove this. So, yeah, I'll uncuff him. Uncuff him and send him on his way, giving him a relatively, quote, reassuring pat on the back as I uncuff him.
Balthazar will simply smile at the detective and he'll say, "Oh, don't worry, detective. I'm sure that you'll find the evil individual behind this."
You better, or I will.
I'm sure we will. Sir, vigilante justice is the last thing we need right now. Please, just let us do our jobs.
Oh yeah, sure.
Although, since you gentlemen are here, I am going to ask: do you know anything perhaps that we don't know?
I know a lot that you don't know, detective. He'll say it with
Oh, do
another.
you now? Spill.
Hmm?
Spill, since you seem to know so much that we don't.
Alistair will again look pointedly at Balthazar and mutter the word "fuego."
Anyone speaks Spanish?
Yeah, that's the code I'm using for Atlantean high speech. By the way, Will, as far as Detective Blacke is concerned, Alistair has just said to Balthazar complete and utter gibberish. It's like he spoke aloud, "La banda."
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no sense he can get for it.
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, hey, listen.
Doesn't bother me.
When he's, pressing us to tell him more things while we're walking away, Odell's gonna take a step forward and spend a point of that fancy glamour he got back, and he'll just start yelling at the detective. Something you don't know, hey! What's the deal with the 10 again thing? If you have a specialty,
You just re-roll all tens universally. If you have a specialty, you roll an extra dice.
Oh, okay, so I need to roll an extra one, and here's one for 10. Never mind, doesn't do anything. So he gets 2 successes. He starts screaming really loud. He's like, I know that little girl, Madeline Odell, liked to play hopscotch, and I know that she used to not like crust on her toast, and I know that she got shot to shit when she was learning about her ABCs in this fucking house or this fucking building, which is in your jurisdiction, and you're sitting here jerking off, bothering people who are just trying to mourn their losses, and now you're trying to accuse my friend of stealing your stuff for simply tripping in the fucking parking lot, and I'm not going to stand it anymore. Now, can we leave, or are you going to cause us more trouble? Because I don't see any other cops here to back you up, and I'm half a mind to throw you through that jungle gym.
But one final thing, and I'll let you go. Your names, gentlemen.
Conrad Odell's my name, father of the deceased. And I'll be talking to you, Sergeant, or something. You prick bastard. Who are you?
Detective Black, Salem PD.
Detective Black. Yeah, I got your number, Detective Black.
My name is Balthazar, Detective. Balthazar Umbra, at your service.
Black's eyes cut to the gentleman in the coat.
Alistair will just smirk when the detective looks at him. Alistair Thorncroft. By the way, quick question. How far away is the nearest electrical socket or junction box?
Not that far if we're on the outside of a major building. A couple, maybe 10 feet.
Very
I know
good.
that there's still power to the place.
Right.
Which there wouldn't be.
True, actually, yeah, you're right. They probably would kill the power. Yeah.
Shame.
Balthazar will smile at the detective before turning to his fellows and simply saying, "I think we've taken enough of the detective's time. Don't you agree?"
Yes. That he's more than a little tiresome, and he walked away having said that. He said that so that the detective can hear him fully, but he's just walking away.
Black makes no, Black doesn't say a word. Holds the ground.
Detective, Balthazar calls. And he looks at you in a weird way, and he kind of moves his hand directly diagonal, and he says, "I wish you luck in finding in finding out who committed this atrocity." If you want to mark it on your sheet, you can. Balthazar has just given you uncanny luck. So for your next 1, 2, 3, 4, for your next 4 rolls, you will not only re-roll 10s, but you will re-roll 9s as well.
All right, noted.
So that's for your next 4 rolls. 9s will also re-roll for you. Now then, gentlemen, I'm somewhat hungry, and we shall have to see what the housekeeper has made for dinner, no? He says as he rubs his hands together.
Yes,
Hey,
let's go.
Will, would the detective have been scared at all by 2 successes on the Intimidate?
With the shit that he's seen in the last week, you tell me.
I don't know. I don't know what he's seen in the last week.
Well, hang on. Let's
with,
do this. Let's
small
do this.
children, with small children having, showed up on his front doorstep, and making shit, glamoring in front of him, and his partner withholding information. Do you think anything would really bother him at this
I'll tell
point?
you what. Well,
It'd probably anger him more than it would fear him.
Let's
we'll
do it
roll
by
it
the.
if you want to.
I was going to say let's do it by the book so we can get it right.
Yeah.
How many successes did you get, Jake?
2.
What's your total, by the way? I rolled too many dice. What's your total? Of your combined. It's your composure and resolve.
You're asking Will, right?
Yeah.
5.
Well, fuck me. Hang on. And one more. Yeah, no, he's not scared.
Okay,
Worth a try.
worth a try.
With that, the three will get into a not unpleasant looking luxury car and drive off into the night.
As Blacke writes down the plate number.
Casually, Balthazar in the car will remove the detective's phone from his pocket.
I thought you had something of his.
Well, this man clearly can't be trusted to find the murderer. My theory is that with his information here, we'll make a better job of it.
Yeah, we will. We're
True.
gonna tear him apart.
You have no idea how difficult it was to not blast that man into the next millennium.
Gentlemen, it's quite all right. I intend to look through the names on this register personally. Let's see what little secrets the detective might have and where they might lead us. After all, my dear friend Odell here requires vengeance.
Hmm. This should be rather entertaining. And for reference, Balthazar,
Hmm.
I don't think the detective called in backup. I didn't hear any. And he just taps his head lightly.
With that, the car will speed into the distance. What does the detective do to close out the scene?
Still pretty freaking sure that guy has my phone, but can't prove it. So the detective will continue to look around the school, hoping something will jump out to his something will jump out to his mind, some type of lead.
I have an idea. Why don't you roll like a perception, whatever the fuck it is? What'd you say? How do you what's the perception alert list in this game?
Wits composure.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah, you might as
roll one
well
of
go
those.
for it. Might as well go for it, and I'll ask Jesse if he finds anything.
What's your total dice pool?
For which one was that? Wits investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, wits investigation probably works better.
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
Uno momento. Wow, that's not a bad roll. Hang on. And you get to re-roll the 9. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
Alright, so I think that should be enough. Right over by the thing, the little, dead children memorial candle poster thing, there's, a weird piece of plant matter covered in, huge barbed thorns. It looks almost cartoonish, just a thick ropey vine with thick, fang-like, briars on it, I guess, and brambles and thorns.
He wouldn't put 2 and 2 together on that.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So with that being said, we bring this particular scene to a close.